and this lovely auditorium here, this addition to Laurel High School. So thank you, Mr. Baker, for coming out and listening to, I think, a lot of my constituents, not all my constituents, there are probably folks from other parts of the county, but this is 8 years in a row that you've come up here to Laurel High School to hear people's concerns and ideas and thoughts about how we should be spending their county tax dollars. And I know you'll be all ears and hopefully get some good ideas before you transmit your budget to the council just about a month from now. So thank you, and thank you all for coming out this evening, and I'll look forward to what you have to say as well.
Thank you. Okay. Can we give Councilwoman Lehman a round of applause? I do, before we get started, want to just thank her for, she and I came into the government together, and we will be leaving in 290, how many days? 294 days, Thomas, if you're out there. Okay. And I do want to publicly acknowledge the hard work that she's done representing District 1, one of the best council members that I have worked with over my almost 20 plus years working in Prince George's County. Very much had the district on her mind, and I appreciate all the input that she's given us over the years and working with us, and so I want to publicly acknowledge and thank you for your hard work and dedication. With that, before Janice goes over the rules, we will have our department heads come down and introduce themselves so you'll know who to blame in case you have questions.
Good evening. I'm Nick Majed, the Chief Administrative Officer for Prince George's County.
Good evening. I'm Mary Lou McDonough. I'm the Director of the Department of Corrections.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Adam Ortiz, Director of the Department of the Environment.
Good evening. Thomas Himmler, Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Budget Finance, Economic Development Administration for 293 days.
Good evening. I'm Darrell Mobley, the Director for the Department of Public Works and Transportation.
Good evening. I'm Betty Hager-Francis, and I serve as Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Health, Human Services, and Education.
Good evening. My name is Eric Brown. I'm Director for the county's Department of Housing and Community Development.
Good evening. Gary Cunningham, Deputy Director, Department of Permitting, Inspections, and Enforcement.
Good evening. Ben Barksdale, Fire Chief.
Good evening. Lieutenant Colonel Mark Roccapriori, Assistant Sheriff, on behalf of your elected Sheriff, Melvin C. High, Office of the Sheriff.
Good evening. Brad Frellin, Assistant Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Economic Development and Public Infrastructure.
Good evening. Stanley Early, Budget Director.
Before I call the first speaker, I'd like to go over the rules for tonight's proceedings. First, I'd like to ask everyone to put their cell phones on vibrate during tonight's hearing. In order to provide everyone the opportunity to present testimony this evening, a time limit of 3 minutes will be imposed. I will have a timer set for 3-minute period. When there's 30 seconds left, I will hold up a sign reflecting 30 seconds. Once the timer has expired, an alarm will sound. Please be considerate of others and wrap up your comments at that time. Thank you, and our first speaker, hold on.
Sorry. I know we have a former delegate here, Aisha Brayboy, if you can stand up. Thank you for being here with us. With that.
Our first speaker will be Lisa Smith, and after Lisa will be Dr. Anthony Nelson.
Thank you. Dr. Nelson will not be able to be with us this evening, but I have his letter attached to my submission for the county staff. Good evening, Mr. Baker. My name is Lisa Smith. I'm the Executive Director of the Bowie Business Innovation Center, the business accelerator for technology companies and government contractors headquartered at Bowie State University. I appreciate the opportunity to have a word or two with you this evening. I want to say really three things. First of all, I want to thank the county for its continuing support of Bowie-Bic. It has been an amazing couple of years, and the last fiscal year was an amazing year in and of itself. Second, I want to request that the county please continue its support of Bowie-Bic as a $100,000 line item in the county budget. And third, I want to give you a really, really quick update on some of the activities and impacts from 2007, because thanks to county support over the last 5 years, the Bowie-Bic has really grown to be an entrepreneurial hub for the ecosystem in Prince George's County. And we have grown into the largest concentration of business scale-up resources for county entrepreneurs. In 2017, we assisted 1,070 county entrepreneurs who participated in counseling, training, and networking activities conducted at Bowie-Bic. 95% of those entrepreneurs were county residents. The 12 clients in Bowie-Bic's core 36-month Business Accelerator program report generating 74 jobs and $4 million in corporate revenues in 2017. This information is included in our submission. And I'm also really pleased to report that in 2017, Bowie-Bic also established a transition office space called Bowie-Bic Next for the graduates of our 36-month accelerator program. This keeps these companies growing and generating impact in the county, and we're very pleased with that development. Our county funding is leveraged with support from other public sector organizations such as the City of Bowie and the Maryland Technology Development Corporation. We also work closely with corporate sponsors such as M&T Bank, Capital One, Clifton Larson Allen, and others. We are a Maryland nonprofit organization with a board comprised of business people. And to accelerate the innovation and job generation capacity of the companies in the county, that is really our mission. That and to provide experiential learning opportunities for the students at Bowie State University. Bowie-Bic was established at Bowie State in 2012, and today we continue to support the university's academic entrepreneurship concentration and growing student entrepreneurship activities. A letter of support, as I mentioned, from Dean Nelson is attached to my submission. With continued county support, we can continue to increase our direct contribution to the county's business vitality and economic growth through the accelerated business development of the companies that use our services, as well as the university alumni businesses, Bowie-Bic clients, and a great interest and commitment to generating new jobs generated by those companies. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, and thank you for your work.
Our next speaker will be Kim Rush Lynch, and then Karen Thompson.
Good evening, County Executive Baker. My name is Kim Rush Lynch, and I'm the Agriculture Marketing Specialist with University of Maryland Extension in Prince George's County. I'm also a Greenbelt resident and a co-chair of the Prince George's County Food Equity Council. I am here this evening to speak about how funding for initiatives such as the Food Equity Council, the Maryland Market Money Program, and an Urban Agriculture Conservation Planner position will assist the county's efforts in ensuring that all residents have access to healthy, affordable, sustainably and locally grown food. Last year I spoke about how the Food Equity Council's work on policies related to agriculture and farmers markets impacts residents from the Inner Beltway to our rural farms in southern Prince George's, including expanding opportunities for urban farming, providing crucial feedback on important county land use and planning documents, and helping to streamline the permitting process for farmers markets. In 2017, the Council continued to build upon these efforts by working with stakeholders to draft bills to improve signage opportunities for farms with agritourism activities, as well as to increase healthier options in county-owned vending machines. Collaborating with the Soil Conservation District to secure a $50,000 grant to assist our budding urban farms, and spearheading the Healthy Eating, Active Living work group within the county's Healthcare Action Coalition to draft healthy food strategies for our Community Health Improvement Plan. The Maryland Market Money Program doubles the value of purchases made with federal nutrition benefits, such as SNAP, at participating farmers markets. This is one way to make high-quality, locally grown produce affordable and accessible to our county's residents, a strategy that is essential to improving the health and life expectancy of our residents. It also supports our farmers in Prince George's County and neighboring jurisdictions. Currently, 4 markets in our county participate in this program, and I know that more would join this effort with the appropriate funding. Finally, we understand the Prince George's Soil Conservation District is requesting funding for an urban agriculture conservation planner. With a burgeoning crop of farmers inside the Beltway, it's important to make sure they have the tools and techniques to manage erosion and stormwater runoff, as well as address potential soil contamination issues and complications with navigating utilities in an urban environment. This position would serve as a triage specialist and technical advisor to residents embarking upon this pioneering agricultural endeavor. I appreciate your past support. I appreciate your continued support of programs that help farmers while improving access to quality, locally produced food for our county's residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Lynch, and thank you for your work. And I will let Steve know that your dynamite testimony added a staff position that you requested.
After Karen, it'll be Allison Flores.
Thank you. Good evening. Family Restoration and Healing Center is a nonprofit, results-based community health organization. Our program, called 360 Degrees of Wholeness, provides education and wraparound services to at-risk youth and adults. We specialize in impacting behavioral health and workforce development, preparing youth to avoid risky behaviors, and implementing evidence-based programs with supportive services to help individuals become whole. First, I want to say thank you, Mr. Baker, for the support and recognition that your administration has already given to nonprofits such as ours. Support for services such as our I Succeed Workforce Development Program, which works in collaboration with other vital county agencies to provide critical job readiness and wraparound services in high-need areas. As you develop the 2019 budget, I encourage you to continue to invest in these small to mid-sized nonprofits such as ours. In addition to continuing to support our workforce development trainings, we strongly recommend more funds be directed to prevention resources. In 2017, we had a waiting list of over 100 residents that wanted to be trained in various behavioral health areas but couldn't because of limited resources. We ask you to add $65,000 to your investment for our evidence-based parent-child communication training. In doing so, we can double the number of families in T&I neighborhoods that receive our critical crisis prevention training. We can take it from 150 to 350 families. Second, we ask you to contribute $125,000 to nonprofit collaboratives, such as the 360 Wholeness Community Impact Collaborative, which is a recently new collaboration led by Family Restoration and Healing Center and made up of several nonprofits and county agencies that provide prevention and intervention. This type of collaboration enables the county to increase its coordination across service areas and improve health incomes as we provide events such as stress and mental health, healing and trauma, and law enforcement and race. Lastly, we recommend the budget include a cash bonus program for nonprofit collaboratives based on outcomes and accomplishments. With this type of program, it could include multi-year awards with annual renewals to collaboratives with evidence of improvement, bonus grants for those with high rates of change, and outcome dividends to collaborations that provide long-term community-level outcomes. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
After Allison, it'll be Beatrice Rogers.
Hi, good evening, County Executive. My name is Allison Flores, and I'm here on behalf of Councilmember Denny Taveras, but also as a lifelong resident of the county.
Terrific.
We must all be committed to ensuring that Prince George's County is a welcoming place for all visitors and residents alike to play, pray, and work. In order to achieve this, it is important that we make key investments in the following 4 areas. The first one, affordable housing. It is important that the county dedicate tax incentives to maintain affordable housing stock in the county. We must fully support a program by which housing developers can provide rent stabilization in exchange for incentives that are provided over an extended duration. In addition to encouraging green design and construction, programs should provide opportunities for senior, disabled, and low-income residents to stay in the county. We must prevent the displacement of vulnerable communities. The second, small business retention and commercial improvements. Given increasing retail rents and expanded consumer base and potential retail profit losses due to major construction projects such as the Purple Line, it is important that we establish a program for tax incentives, abatements, and exemptions to be applied to commercial, rehabilitation, and business retention projects. This should allow for a pooling of potential local, state, and federal dollars for businesses that may need bridge grants, low-cost financing, or reimbursement for losses due to forced shutdown or the need to renovate or convert commercial space. The third, connectivity, safe streets, pedestrian pathways, and urban parks. Overcrowding, parking congestion, traffic, and inadequate infrastructure are some of the biggest complaints made by residents in our already urbanized areas of the county, especially in District 2. In order to better address urbanization as one of the most significant transitions for the county, it is crucial that we make the small-scale yet big impact investments that create connectivity, safe pedestrian pathways, and urban parks. These amenities help ensure that higher density and infill development bring our communities together, increase property values, and create communities we all want to live in. The fourth, culture, arts, and education. Investments in arts, culture help build vibrant and foster thriving communities and increase economic revenues. For instance, the Gateway Arts District alone contributes over $25 million in wages related to the sector. The Arts and Entertainment Corridor receives thousands of regional and local visits to its array of art exhibits, programs, and space. We want to ensure the county continues and expands art programming, public art, and support for artists throughout District 2 and Prince George's County. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good job. Before we have the next speaker up, B, you can come on up. I do want to recognize my old eyes, Mayor Craig Moe. Thank you for joining us. And I think I'm right, all the way in the back is former council member Tom Denoga. Thank you for being here.
Good evening, Mr. Baker. For the record, my name is B. Rogers, and I'm representing the Prince George's County Provider Council tonight. Before I get into what I'm asking for, I want to take this opportunity on behalf of our council, as well as the many hundreds and hundreds of workers, for the effort that you made to help us last year by including the line item in the county budget. And also your suggestion, or your office's suggestion, to make this a 3-year contract. We are requesting your assistance on 2 items with the Maryland delegation, our Prince George's delegation, and I have been in touch with Ken Battle over these. The first is our request that you support the effort to restore in the Department DDA's budget the full rate of 3.5% for wages. Each year the governor has reduced that rate, which was mandated by the state minimum wage legislation of 2014. This year it's only 1%. And this, of course, will again move us behind where we thought we were beginning to catch up. So we're asking your strong support with our delegation. The second is we're requesting your support for some minimum wage legislation, which would be statewide legislation as the way to go. I think they're Senate Bill 543 and House Bill 664. I know there are a number of bills. This one, in addition to 15 by 5 or whatever their title is, has a specific section that would authorize an additional rate increase for the workers who provide for our most vulnerable populations. They're working their way through the legislature, but as you know, nothing's given until the last day, whenever that is, in April. So your support would be most helpful. I have provided a chart with my testimony which shows how this would help us gain back some of what we have lost in the past 10 to 12 years. Thank you, and if Ken needs any additional information, we're happy to provide it.
Thank you, Bea. And let me just thank you for all of your work over these last 8 years and when I was in the legislature. And so I look forward to working with you, and I've got the minimum wage bill down. Thank you.
Mark Johnson, and then Jane Ulrich.
Greetings. I'm here today with my dad and my firstborn grandchild, which is 21 years of age, and first of 16 grandchildren. Jeff is a senior at Morgan State University after 4 years of serving as honor roll student in combined years of college. Jeff lost his father in a car accident, and he's been my champion through those tough years as his grandpa. I am very proud of Prince George's County and the hardworking and committed elected officials and administrators who led and managed it. I am particularly proud of the county's leadership in the creation of a wide range of programs designed to ensure that long-term residents and African American households and businesses benefit from the county's many efforts. Yet, even with all the initiatives available to residents and business owners, being successful remains challenging for the intended underrepresented populations. In the primary small business program in which I am a participant, the group of small businesses participants who started the program at the time I joined has been shrinking rather than growing. I do not point out this reality to criticize, but rather to encourage the county to focus more energy on its existing initiatives rather than worry that there are inadequate opportunities for small minority and locally owned companies. The programs in place are quite remarkable. I find that my colleagues and I, however, often are provided with incomplete or inaccurate information related to how to successfully access county's